watch you while you sleep, holding you, lost inside every breath you breathe. I don't wanna live a day without you, I just wanna be the one that makes you.
Well, this is going to be a hard video for me to make, and one that's going to be, I don't even know what to say. You know, when you work for an employer, and you've worked for an employer a long time, and you develop a disability of some kind, the employer, you know, if you, let's say you lose a leg, or you have a visual problem, or you know, something happens, like maybe you get carpal tunnel and you can no longer do repetitive work anymore. What does the employer do usually? They might put you in a different position, you know, that you can function at like a normal person still, you know, where you can still have some integrity and pride, and not put you, let you continue to go on in the situation that maybe caused your injury. Like in the case of carpal tunnel, they wouldn't make you continue to do data entry and make the problem even worse. You know, that's what a normal company would do. But once again, I've had a harsh reminder how different depression is as far as how the rest of the world treat people who have this illness. I don't want to get too personal, but let's just say that my depression has affected my job performance. And I communicated to my employer, this is the big job. This is the one that pays all the bills. This is the one that keeps my condo, and I've had for 11 years. I have communicated to my bosses that sitting in the same place for 10 years, same desk, was causing me a lot of stress. I've communicated to my bosses when things come up that I feel that jeopardize my ability to perform my job. I've asked repeatedly to be put in another position, you know, that because I was burnt out on what I do for years ago. And try getting a promotion when you have depression. Try getting a different position when you have depression. And when the whole company knows it, when the whole company knows that you have this problem, try finding another job in that company that you put all your time and effort into, and you've gotten all the seniority built up. So I couldn't get into another position. They wouldn't even demote me. Just basically, they kept basically throwing things at me that I communicated were jeopardizing my ability to perform my job. And every time I communicated this fact to them, it was like, oh, well, this is how it is. If I was, again, somebody with carpal tunnel communicating that, you know what, this is causing me harm, they would change it in a minute. But because it's depression, no. So yeah, Swedish Medical Group, which is now bought out by Providence, which coincidentally is a Christian-run organization, isn't very humane when it comes to how they treat people in their company. Not only do I think that I was unfairly treated by them because I was not given the same kind of they weren't giving me the tools I needed to do my job appropriately. They were not paying any attention to the communication I tried to give them, that this is what I need to help me continue to work for you. Whereas with somebody with carpal tunnel, they would have in a heartbeat. But they're also supposed to be, I'm sorry, my voice, I cried all day yesterday. This is supposed to be a Christian organization. The first thing they did when they when they took over Swedish was they got rid of the benefit for Planned Parenthood. That's the first thing they did. And over the last 6 months, they took away completely the senior Rep 3 department that we had. That would be the people above me. Rep 2s can hope to aspire to become Rep 3s. That's how we get promoted. they took that entire thing away. So that basically told all the Rep 2s that, this is it, unless you want to become coders. And you can't become a coder unless you take this really difficult class and this really difficult test. So they've been systematically for the last 6 months, since they took out the Rep 3s, which were our senior people, are the people with the most seniority and the most know-how. They've been taking out people like me. They've been taking out people who have seniority. They've been taking out people who are older. And it's just, they're cleaning house. But the thing is, I was protected by FMLA for this illness, for depression, and for anxiety. And I was told yesterday when I was fired that it was because of symptoms of this illness that I was fired, because of things that I was having trouble with, frustrations that my job was causing me, that I had communicated to them why I was feeling frustrated, and it did nothing at all to change my situation. It was because of these symptoms that I was fired yesterday after working there almost 11 years. And all the people who fired me were people who've been there less than a year, or at least less than a year at Swedish. So yeah, I think that's part of it, but I also think something else. This manager who called me into his office last week and told me that, basically was buddy-buddy with me, and he asked me about my bracelet, asked me how he can get the bracelet for his wife, and just talked about things that, that they were looking to do to help me further my career. All this stuff that this guy told me last week in his office, making me feel he had just fired somebody that I really respected, an older, well, not older, she's my age, really classy lady. He had just fired her, and he was telling me, well, we're family here, but some people are just bad and they have to go. And I this is a week ago. I said, oh, well, I hope I'm not bad. And he looked at me and said, oh, that's for this, you're a long way from that. That's what he said. You're a long way from that. Meaning I was a long way from getting fired. So what did I do? I felt reassured, and I felt like I had job security. And I went out and I bought a car, because I'm trying to rebuild my credit after some really hard times. I bought the car on Sunday, and yesterday, Tuesday, 2 days later, they announced to me very coldly that I lost my job because of symptoms of an illness that I cannot help. Yeah, I know I've said on YouTube that I have depression, but you don't really see it on YouTube very much unless you go back maybe 2 years and look at my older videos. But in my day-to-day life, it makes it hard for me to cope. It makes it hard for me to cope with a new supervisor who has a completely different style and is really harsh and abrasive, and this is it, this is the way it is, da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God, they put two in a row. Anyway, I had a really wonderful supervisor who was practically my friend for a really long time, and she relocated, and then I got 2 soups in a row that were very abrasive and I had trouble with. And I communicated that to my employer that, you know what, if I could only just have a different supervisor or have a different position, maybe, I'm pretty sure that would really help me. No change for you. So, but then during this meeting with this manager who has ever since he started shown a great deal of interest about my lizards, I offered, we got to talking about my lizards, and I offered to send him a video from YouTube about my Colombian Tego. So I went back to my desk and I sent him the link. Well, the link would say Deity Free D on it. And I could bet you anything, I could bet my last dollar that this manager is a Christian. And this is a Christian-run organization. And perhaps he went a little bit beyond that video and looked at some of my other videos and realized that I'm not only an atheist, I'm a pretty staunch atheist. And I've heard of atheists losing their jobs just for the fact that they're atheists. And it just seems really strange that the things that he was telling me yesterday I was fired for happened quite a while ago, several weeks ago, and they seem to be like, oh, okay, we worked out an understanding thing, everything's good. and were all palsy with me last week. Everything's good. Don't worry. It's the furthest thing from my mind. And then he sees the video from Deity Free D and finds out I'm an atheist, and it's not 2-3 days later that I'm fired. So that's my other issue, that I can't prove it. I can't prove that I was fired because I'm an atheist, but I suspect. Anyway, I'm getting a call. Oh, it's just nothing. I've been doing nothing but pounding the street for the last day on my computer, trying to find a job. Now they're calling again. And I don't know how I'm going to replace my job because it's really high paying compared to my Home Depot job. But anyway, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. That was just a spam call, and I just wanted to finish up my video. I guess what I want to say is I think Swedish Medical Group has gone sorely downhill. I think that they don't value seniority. They've even come out and said that they don't value seniority of that company anymore. Seniority means nothing anymore. When Providence took over, they took everybody's flex time away, which, you know, what is the reason for that they gave? Oh, well, the managers want to know when you're at your desk. Like, these managers come to your desk all the time, right? So they got rid of flex time, and then they started dinging people every time they're just a few minutes late. And as a result, lots of people have been fired. I just think that this is a bad company. I think it's gone downhill. I would highly recommend. I know Providence is a big company, and Swedish is a little tiny thing by comparison, but I would, at least atheists who watch this video, you know, if it's at all possible to find a different provider who isn't with Swedish or Providence, I would encourage you to, because you're supporting an organization that that punishes people for being ill, and I'm pretty sure has a thing against atheists too. No way to prove it, it's just a suspicion, but I just think after 11 years and busting my gut for this company, trying to continue to work there and be effective and communicate how I can be effective with them, and having that completely ignored. I was treated like shit yesterday, and I didn't deserve it. So, wish me luck. The hardest part is looking at the jobs that are available. Last time I looked for a job was 11 years ago, and everything that I know how to do that pays more than $15 an hour no longer is available to me. It's all been offshored. Customer service jobs, insurance claims processing jobs, billing jobs, all offshored. What I see are things like baker and delivery driver, and, you know, lots of manager positions and lots of sales positions, but I'm not the kind of person to try to sell things to people. I'm not that I don't like pushing things on people. So anyway, now I am going to end the video, but I just it's been a bad time, and if I'm going to try, this is going to be the only video I make about it on YouTube. I don't want to dwell on it, but wish me luck. I'm going to need it. I'm going to probably have to give away all my birds because I can't wait around for people to want to buy them. I'm going to have to give the birds away. I'm already putting my motorcycle went up on Craigslist yesterday. And I'm going to probably get rid of 2 of my lizards, the ones that I'm not quite as attached to. Because lizards might not cost a lot of money, but the heat lamps cost a lot. My PUD bill is huge. So, isn't this special? Anyway, I'm sorry if I've been a bummer making this video. I wanted to make some kind of video and say what a crappy thing I think Swedish and Providence have done and are doing to not just me, but to other employees as well. So, if you've been watching, thanks. Bye.